Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell to get notified when new videos drop. And a bit of a disturbing morning I had. This is a bit of an aside. Bit of a disturbing morning. Maybe I got an email from PlayStation that my my password on one of the accounts. I have like a few accounts. I have one for Israel, one for password on one of the accounts has been changed, which I didn't change it, right? So, but there's no money on that account. I haven't actually used it for years and years and years, right? So I'm like, well, I bet I got a report that's been hacked. So there's no easy way of doing it, right? There's no. It should be a button. You just click. Oh, your account's been hacked. No, you've got to call up customer service. So I'm trying to call up the Israeli customer service. No English. I understand. We live in Israel, but no. And here's the thing that really freaking annoyed me. Like, really, firstly, they don't open until 10:30. I'm like, really? So like, yeah, get to work. What's wrong with you? But firstly, they don't open until 10:30. But secondly, the person who did the phone tree, like, welcome to PlayStation. Press 1 for this, but it's all in Hebrew. And there's too difficult for me. Clearly is an English speaker, right? I can hear their American accent. Like, get like, for English, press 3. Could we not get that? No. Now I've got to get one of my kids to phone up and navigate and fight their way through to I don't know, closing for an account that I don't use, and I don't know if it's a problem. But anyway, that's my morning. How's your bit? Please like, share, subscribe, and we're going to be talking about Doctor Who, the death of Doctor Who, which I think we are genuinely looking at, right? Based on the reports coming out over the last day or so. I'll explain why in a minute. But really, I think this is this is going to be the death of Doctor Who. Maybe permanently, right? I'm not sure permanently. Maybe. Hey, look, there's a lot to discuss. Before we get there, can you hit the like button? Freaking awesome. Thank you very much. Can you hit the share button? Even awesomer, if you can imagine such a thing. How do I get any awesomer than hit the like button? By hitting the share button. Well, there you go. A bit of good advice in the morning. If you want to be the most awesomest, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, if you can consider hitting the subscribe button, that really helps little tiny channels like me stay in any way competitive. You would like to have independent voices, which YouTube and I think social media in general really, really don't want. They would really like to put that whole like free self-expression thing back in the box. They are not up for it. Fine, so like, share, subscribe. If you are subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. Hey, if you're not subscribed, if you can consider it, that'll be lovely. And if you want to be super nice, go check out my Indiegogo. Right, so the things are looking good for Indiegogo. The link is in the video notes. For once, I managed to maintain the schedule I set for myself. These are 2 graphic novels. I think they're going to go to print on Monday or Tuesday of this week. So that's September. I want it done in August. I want it going in August to print, right? So if you want to buy them, now's the time. What are they? We've got biblical, Bible source, atheist, Christian, rationalist, rogues. So yeah, what I did on this one yesterday, I rewrote dialogue on the last 2 pages, not the last 2 dialogue pages, right? I was never really happy with it, right? I was never really thrilled with it. It's I wanted to have kind of like a crescendo when you hit the end, kind of like Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, I don't like Roger Waters. He doesn't like the Jews, but I'm not a fan of Roger Waters. But I really like that summation. That's the vibe I'm going for with it. So I rewrote the last 2 pages, and man, is it better. I'm really, really happy with it now. It's amazing what 5 years worth of experience, which is about the time since I wrote it originally. Anyway, so there's that book. It's 220 pages long. And there's this book, which with this print file is in bed at last, ready to go. We've added 24 pages into this. We added a bunch of comic book pages because the campaign did well, and then we got this commentary, you get the full script, the commentary. So I had to add in all that stuff as well. I totally forgot about it. We had got a backup strip called Ice Warriors. I forgot we got like another 8 episodes. These are 1-page strips. So there's a ton of stuff in there. I wrote this one. So I was saying this is 105 pages long. It's 119 or something pages long. I can't remember. Artwork by the wonderful Dominic Racho. I wrote it. I think I did a rather good job in it, if I may say so myself. You get both books. You get a bunch of extras. You can get the extras on their own. I think this is the only time that you're going to be able to buy the extras. You get this poster, Noble Savages. You get the For the Male Gaze cards, these are postcard size. These are all postcards I would look forward to getting in the mail, right? I would be, whatever's on the other side, I'd be like, well, yeah, at least the front is pretty darn good. Yeah, it's For the Male Gaze. We got posters. That's such a good Princess Leia. Anyway, go check it out. You've only got a few days. If you want to, and listen, we're about $30-40 away from $9,000. If anybody's thinking of making a purchase, now is the time, baby. Now is the time. And now is the time of our great discontent with Doctor Who. Here's what. So we had Piers Wenger, upper class twit of the year. Piers Wenger opened his idiot mouth and dribbled out idiot stuff once again. It seems to be Doctor Who moving forward, if there will be a Doctor Who moving forward, will be something somewhat disconnected from any Doctor Who previously. So here's what I think is going to happen. Here's the vibe I am getting, and the more I think about it, the more I think I'm right. I think there's going to be one big episode for the last episode for Jodie Whittaker, the centenary episode. So while some bits of the BBC do recognise how insanely badly Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who has gone, I'm not sure that Piers Wenger is amongst that group. He feels it's stunning and brave! A bit of stunning and brave. And he doesn't notice that it's garbage, right? He doesn't, because we're actually going to get into that a little bit, like what's going on inside his bizarre head. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think the centenary celebration of BBC, they're going to have the final episode of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, which will be the death of Doctor Who, which will be the end of Doctor Who, will be the summation of the 59-year Doctor Who. There's definitely a faction that wants to bring it back. We know Doctor Who has been split between BBC Studios and BBC. And I think that's really what is behind the exit of Whittaker and Chibnall. I think they were fired. Essentially, look, I think they just basically showed them the metrics. Said, well, you were up here, now you're down here. We used to be able to sell anything, like literally anything. We could put a Doctor Who logo on it. Now he wants people to treat an item like kryptonite. We put your Doctor Who logo on it. Honestly, there was like signs that say keep out, radiation warning, don't go there. Wasn't really working. People were still going in. You put that Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who logo on, people were like, get away from me! It's evil! And it is evil. It is evil indeed. So anyway, this is my premise of what we're going on. So let's read this word. But the interesting thing is we're going to be looking at a few different articles reporting the same thing, because you can always learn a lot by the spin that the crazes give it. So let's start with Screen Rant. They love a bit of spin, don't they? Doctor Who will have radical change after Whittaker leaves. So I don't think Piers Wenger has much of a say in it. It's from the vibe I'm going, or he's a voice in it that he's going to stop anything that might vaguely be popular, because he doesn't like the old white males, does he? Even though he happens to be one. This is probably why he doesn't like them. Head of drama at BBC, Piers Wenger, says that the Doctor will undergo radical change after current Doctor Jodie Whittaker exit. Honestly, you can read this two ways. You can say, well, Doctor Who has been unbearably bad. Listen, if you're somebody who likes the current era of Doctor Who, God bless you. I'm really happy for you. I don't really understand how you like this era and other eras of Doctor Who. They seem to be diametrically opposed. I mean, literally like diametrically opposed. But you like it? I'm gonna, because that's one of the things they always say. Old school fans are mean to us because they say we're not real fans, and we're not. No, you're totally valid. You're totally valid. A lot of things that you people say is bollocks, right? Just do you remember when Jodie Whittaker started, and it wasn't an option to criticize her because then you're attacking minorities and you're a bigot, even though women are the majority. and I would just say blonde, rich women who are college educated, probably not that oppressed either. college-educated blonde rich women, probably the most privileged people ever to walk the face of the earth in 2021, right? Seems to me. I mean, you can be a little bit more privileged if you're trans, I think, but they were pretty much at the top. I'm looking at this picture and I go, oh man, this was awful. This was the one with the fingers in the ears, wasn't it? With like every one of those characters is boring, right? Apart from Graham, and he was pretty boring there as well. This is just garbage. Head of drama at the BBC said the Doctor Who will be subject to a radical change after Jodie Whittaker's exit. Listen, he was caught on the spot. This is kind of like the White House press secretary. What's her name? Jen Psaki. She does a great job. She's somehow managed to sell the narrative that Afghanistan, the huge embarrassment that is the huge embarrassment and takedown of the United States, that is Afghanistan. There was the handling of Afghanistan, which is getting exponentially worse, right? She has to sell both that it was completely planned. It was inevitable. Everything was inevitable. There's nothing anybody could have done to avoid this, and they completely planned everything, including, the young people falling off the planes to their death as they hung on for desperation. But that was a couple of weeks ago now. Fair, who cares? But these seem to be two contradictory things, and she sells both of them, right? But it's great watching the press conference because, you see her go, oh crap. Oh, whatever she's, oh God, no, oh no. By the way, real aside, there was a clip I saw this morning. Had a super Jewy guy in the press corps. He had the full Jewy regalia. The skull cap with a white shirt. The ringlets called pears. He was full on Jew, right? He was full. Oh, I did know we were let into the country club, but there you go. I'm glad to get the memo. Fine, but that's basically what happened. I think he was put on the spot, much like Jen Psaki is a lot nowadays. And this is the big bull crap he came up with. It was announced back in July that Whittaker and current showrunner Chris Chibnall will be leaving the hit. It's not the hit BBC series in 2022. It was a hit series. It's like saying that hit soap opera EastEnders. It's not a hit soap opera anymore, is it? It gets under 2 million. And, the reason it gets under 2 million, because it's on all the time, and people get to see it and they get to know what utter garbage it is. It's garbage that's basically mandated by Piers Wenger, who says, you know what we need? We need some more trans people. We need trans people, and we need minimally 50% of the world to be gay. Minimally, probably more, right? Gay, trans, bi, whatever. Minimally 50%. Bi is basically gay. But bi is what they say when they want to take a straight character and say, oh, he's gay now, right? That's the way they, oh, no, I've always been bi. Yeah, no. So and by doing that, it doesn't really reflect the audience. So the audience are like, I live in a world where 50% of the people aren't gay. I was going to say 100%. I'll say 99% of the world doesn't mind if someone's gay, but not 50% of the world is gay, right? Or trans or whatever, which is why these shows really don't work. The other thing is, if you write a character to be change them to be trans, to be anything on the progressive stack, right? That's normally the end of the character, because you can't write once they get into this elevated protected status, nothing bad can happen to them, and consequently they're very boring characters, right? But again, we'll talk about that in a bit. In a minute after we finish this bit. Whittaker and current showrunner Christian will be leaving the hit British sci-fi series in 2022. I mean, how do you write the hit British sci-fi? I mean, okay. After the release of season 13, a series of specials, Whittaker, who plays the 13th incarnation of the Doctor, continues an established tradition of modern Who by staying on a full run of 3 seasons before regenerating, like David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi did before. That must be the agreement they reached between BBC Studios and BBC. They're like, well, look, if we regenerate her right now, it's gonna damage the brand. Yeah, people will know we screwed up. So we got to keep it going so it's similar to the other Doctors. Otherwise, we're going to look bad. We don't want to look bad. But honestly, I really believe that was the motivation behind it. Despite the success of Whittaker's performance as Doctor, what? Let's start this again. Despite the success of Whittaker's performance as Doctor, I love Scream Rant. Oh, you're beautiful. Okay, what would you call a failure? Again, is Afghanistan a success as well? Again, the White House is telling us it's a success. What would you call a failure? You know what they'll call a failure? I know exactly what they'll call a failure. The previous White House administration that had the greatest economy of our lifetimes, the most support of black people, Hispanic people, and gay people, incredibly, of any Republican of all time, right? A time where there was literally peace brought to the Middle East. Speaking of somebody actually is here, yeah, that was a failure. All that affluence, that was a failure. But this, bit of Jodie losing 75% of the ratings, being reviled by the audience. That was a success, okay? Despite the success of Whittaker's performance, the Chipmunk has proved divisive amongst fans due to overambitious retcons and well-established Doctor Who lore. No, thank you for your opinion, you're an idiot. No. The overambitious retcons of well-established Doctor Who lore can certainly work. You know how we know they certainly work? Do you remember John Hurt as a War Doctor? That worked, right? That worked. You remember Deadly Assassin, right? That was an ambitious retcon to well-established Doctor Who lore, and it worked. You see, here's the missing ingredient that Chibnall doesn't have in The Timeless Children that they did in the Name of the Doctor, Day of the Doctor, or Deadly Assassin, or anything. Here's the missing ingredient. You can't make your TV show shit and do overambitious retcons of well-established Doctor Who lore, right? Because the transparent reason why they did The Timeless Children, it was actually in the script. Can't imagine how more racist you can get. Was that the Doctor is essentially played by 12 people who are all white men. I realize all white straight men as well. And we're talking about Simon Callow yesterday on my stream. They said he was a gay activist. I had no idea. Okay, I had no idea. And you know what? Who gives it? Why would I have an idea? Who gives a damn, right? And I was just thinking, Simon Callow would have been great as a Doctor. And I read he would have been the first gay Doctor. They go for it. Hartnell, straight as straight could be, as is Troutman, as is Pertwee, as is Baker, as is Davison, as is Colin Baker, as is Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester McCoy is the only one I could imagine maybe getting a finger up his bum, during lovemaking. But I think that would be with a lady, right? Paul McGann, straight. John Hurt, straight. Christopher Eccleston, straight. David Tennant, straight. Matt Smith, straight. Peter Capaldi. All of them are straight, right? All of them are straight. So she would. Okay, but the thing is, they don't like them being white men, right? So they wanted to say, these 12 people of the Doctor, that's just a teeny tiny slither of them. It's an aberration. Really, there's billions of Doctors, and they're all stunning and brave, and none of them are white men. Just these white men are weird. That's the aberration. And so that's the reason of The Timeless Children. It wasn't to make compelling drama. If I may quote Chris Chibnall, maybe it could have been written a bit better. It wasn't to make compelling drama. It was to make the Doctor less white and less male. That was the reason. It's transparent and obvious. And it was garbage, absolute garbage. There's also been widespread criticism of the supposedly underdeveloped characters and problems with storytelling. Why is it supposedly? The characters are underdeveloped and the storytelling is awful. How is that supposed? I mean, this is again, I mean, objective reality is not a happy thing for these type of people. I mean, honestly, in the comic book world, the progressive liberals that took over the industry and now have been left with the twisted remains of it, and are really pissed off. They've been going crazy over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, essentially because reality has very much disagreed with them, right? Again, Afghanistan changed everything, and everybody really kind of knows it. Right, it's changed everything. There's no one able to say, oh, thank God we have an adult in the White House. And the reason I'm banging on about it, because it really shouldn't matter. We're talking about Doctor Who, right? The reason I keep banging on about it is because they do, right? It's their main motivational factor. So yeah, that's right. Supposedly underdeveloped characters, like Yaz and Ryan and the Doctor. And problem with storytelling. What, you mean that time you had to have an animated insert to do your exposition and it was shit, right? Remember that? Yeah. That's in between having a man with fingers fly off go in their ears. How terrifying. Therefore, both the exit of both Whittaker and Shomron provides an opportunity for Doctor Who to regenerate, representing a fresh start for the series as it approaches the 60th anniversary. It's looking to me right now that the initial rumors are correct. I mean, they've had, according to Shomron, they've had a year to find a replacement. And they can't do it. So which makes me think either it's a toxic brand that nobody wants to go near, or the two masters of BBC Studios and BBC cannot agree. Or a bit of both. That's probably more, or a combination of factors. But I think that's what's going on. And as there hasn't been anybody announced yet, right, I doubt that we're seeing anything before 2024. I mean, if we're lucky. The only reason we are seeing something is because it's a valuable brand, and the money men that run the BBC won't let it stop being made. I mean, they can't get international. I mean, they might have killed it. If they can't get international partners for it, they can't get international partners. This statement by Piers Wenger does sound like the statement we got when Sylvester McCoy was cancelled after his third season. And they said, we don't want the Doctor to be a battle-weary Time Lord languishing in the backwaters of audience popularity. That's it. So it's going to come back radically. It has that same feeling, but I do think there's more of a will to bring it back quicker. Just the financial imperative, that it represents. This one, every time I read this paragraph, despite the success of Whittaker's performance, no! She played it like a doofus moron who had no idea what she's doing. Man. Therefore, I'm doing the 6th anniversary. What is this? Sponsored by Mind Power. I don't know who this dude is with like the shoulder-length hair and the dodgy-looking smile. But, yeah, I don't know what you're selling, mate. I'm not buying any. Okay, I don't know who that is. It appears BBC is keen to capitalise on the opportunity to start anew. In an interview with Edinburgh TV Vessel via Elliot Gonzalez, the head of BBC drama at BBC, Piers Wenger, spoke about the future of Doctor Who. Wenger said that, as with any change of Doctor and showrunner, will be radical. That's not true. The change between Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat wasn't radical. Right? It was an evolution, but definitely more of the same. I think the John Nathan Turner coming in was, I wouldn't call it radical, but it was certainly a turnaround. We got new titles. It suddenly became a lot more contemporary. Philip Hinchcliffe, no, I don't think it's right. I think there was an easing. There was a general easing from one style to the other. That's really what you see in Tom Baker's first season, season 12. And I don't think the Hinchcliffe era really starts until Genesis of the Daleks. Yeah, it feels like Ark in Space and Sontaran Experiment could be very much Pertwee stories, right? But by the time you get to Genesis, so it wasn't like a radical. I mean, let me see. So then we had Barry Letts. Barry Letts and Terence Dicks, they very much followed the template set up by Derek Sherwin. They went in their own direction, but it wasn't a radical departure. Derek Sherwin, radical departure. Radical departure from Patrick Troughton's time when he brought in Pertwee, went into colour. And obviously, Troughton's regeneration was a radical departure. It was a very radical idea. So I think it's partially true, but I think it's a talking point. will be radical. He teased changes ahead for the hit series. It was a hit series. Wenger has a long history with Doctor Who. His previous experience as former head of BBC Wales and former executive producer of both BBC Doctor Who and its spin-off Sarah Jane Adventures. He must have not much to do with it. Well, when this was casting as the first female incarnation of the Doctor, providing a radical change for the series back in 2007, speculating has moved towards a successor. Yeah, but the main radical change that it brought about was it made it deeply unpopular. And I understand this is a subjective evaluation, but I'm going to go with it. Made it shit, right? Made it unbearably shit. Success, talking about Michaela Cole, and it seems Ollie Alexander. How's Michaela Cole a radical change? It seems like, okay, they do this in comics a lot. There is one magic trick the current people do in comics. There's one move they have. They take a character and they change it to be gay, black, or female, right? That or any combination of the. Yeah, so it's the same trick. If you take, the Flash, and there you go, now we're going to have a woman Flash. What? Like a black gay woman Flash. No, it's or a black Flash or a gay Flash or a woman. It's all the same trick, okay? It's all the same. So saying it's Michaela Cole. Well, that's not radical change. That's more of the same, okay? Ollie Alexander, equally more of the same. Somebody who was very defined by his sexuality. Just two of the rumor frontrunners, yeah, nonsense. However, the real challenge is finding a new showrunner that can successfully shake things up and bring a fresh, exciting new energy to Sci-Fi series. Chibnall has already stated that he has no say in picking Whittaker's successor. Yeah, that's because he failed so utterly he was fired. Right? Yes, we know that. Normally you do, but you just haven't developed any talent with your era because you have no talent. So there is that. So the failure show is entirely in the hands of the higher-ups at the BBC and BBC Studios. With that in mind, it's undoubtedly positive. It's undoubtedly a positive thing that Wenger and the BBC Dream Team are eager to make radical change to Doctor Who. Wenger clearly knows the show well from his proven experience and has seen what works and what doesn't. Time to show a big example of the latter. Yeah, but does he know not to do it again? I know. With the lead character constantly regenerated, Doctor Who's fine, blah, 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 blah. So let's have a quick look at Bleeding Cool, because it's always fascinating how they look at things. Oh, God. This web page is reloaded because of insufficient memory. So the next year and a half will definitely be an interesting time for the BBC's Doctor Who. Before the end of this year, Jodie Whittaker, John Bishop, showrunner, will be hitting a straight fine, blah, 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 tell us about Doctor Who. Following that, Whittaker, blah, blah, blah. Wrap up their run of the long-running show by 2022. I think they're going to wrap up the long-running show by 2022. More on that in a minute, which means the dumpster fires of mindless speculations are roaring into high skies on both sides of the pond as people try to be the first to predict who the new showrunner. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Right? I mean, I guess, Tim Davie, the Director General of BBC, knows, right? But none of us know. And anybody say they know anything, really don't. It's all guesswork. It's all guesswork, and a lot of time the guesses are right? This is all it is. It's guesswork. Yesterday, we even had Star Trek Generation in the stand-style Whoopi Goldberg reminding folks at the Edinburgh Festival that she wants a job. She does want the job. I mean, she really does. It's interesting. I really wish there would be an American Doctor Who, like Peter Dinklage as a Doctor, Whoopi Goldberg, fine. Whoever does end up running the show and piloting the titles, Piers Wenger, BBC Director of Drama, wants to be to know that change is in the air. Speaking at the same festival, Goldberg was attending. Who's Goldberg? Wenger was asked about the long range, blah, 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 blah. Future updates on the show. Who will be coming aboard by keeping everything under wraps? He responded, okay, radical change. We already read that. So now we're going to put this out again. Cody Fern as the Doctor, Ryan Murphy as showrunner. Oh, and Sarah Paulson as the Master. That will be radical. Here's a look at the first synopsis from AMC Network. By the way, note that it's been bumped off HBO Max and now it's on AMC Network. Fine. So this is the teaser and just telling you what's going to happen. My heart's over. Blah blah blah. Fine. So here's why I think this is probably not the best news, right? Because of things like this. So Lenny Henry, Lenny Henry, awesome comedian. I've grown up with him. If you tune into my Saturday show, we always start with a bit of Tiswas on the title. Tiswas was a Saturday morning TV show which Lenny Henry started in, and every time I see it, I smile, and it makes me happy because he's been around for a while. So there's been a report on racism in the entertainment industry. Sponsored by his organization, that deals with racism, and it came up with some interesting findings. Right, 79% of respondents feel that roles continue to be stereotype their ethnicities. So here's what I've noticed. There are a lot more roles for black people on TV in 2021 than there were in 2016, 2017. Not necessarily a bad thing, right? There are a lot fewer types of roles, right? We go back to what I was saying earlier, that if you agenda swap, if you put somebody on what's called the progressive stack, right? If you make them black, you make them gay, you make them female, make them trans, at that point you can't have anything bad happen to them or give them any character flaws. Now, character flaws is what make characters interesting. That's one of the reasons we love the character of the Doctor. He's a flawed person. He gets angry. He gets irritated. He gets hurt. He is petulant, right? The scene where Joe Grant leaves, he was genuinely hurt and kind of brusque, right? And I like that about the character. I like that he is real. He is three-dimensional, right? And when you remove any character flaw from a character, you get boring characters. I think Star Trek Discovery is such a great example of that. Michael Burnham, the central character called Michael for some reason that they've never explained, is flawless. She is absolutely perfect in every way. Everything she does is perfect, and she wins at everything. Nothing is ever a struggle, and she's boring. Much the same way with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. Boring characters. So if I'm sure there is more. There's more roles for black people on TV. Less types of roles. If you're a man, you have to be a noble, suffering saint enduring the racism of evil white men. If you're a woman, you have to be lesbian. you have to be a lesbian, right? A black lesbian woman. You don't really need to say lesbian or black. The two things mean the same. Like universally, I don't know what it is. And if you've got to be a man, you can't be masculine. You need to be effeminate, right? Of some way, you got to be feminine, right? So this is how Piers Wenger sees the world, right? He said, oh no, black people are oppressed by the evil people. Look how oppressed they are. They voted for Brexit. They voted for Trump. We're so racist. We've got to convince people not to be racist. So we're going to be very racist about our casting. Look, there's a black person with genuine talent behind and in front of the camera. Hello, Noel Clarke. You're cancelled, mate. You're cancelled. Right? So this is the idiot in charge. Now, I don't know how in charge he is. I think he's in charge enough for Chris Chibnall and him to go, we need to cap off Doctor Who, then we can start it off afresh. And do you really think that Chris Chibnall doesn't have any animosity to Doctor Who fans? I think he probably had. He strikes me as being a person of not the best character, right? That's how he's saying. As being a person of not the best character in the world. So I think he's probably petty and vindictive, and I think he would want to kill off the Doctor, end Doctor Who, and thus entwining Jodie Whittaker's Doctor into the canon Doctor Who inexorably. It's not going to work, mate. We've erased it after time. I've got my copy of Twice Upon a Time. I got one copy where he regenerates into Hartnell, and another one where it just fades to white, right? I'm sorry, you decanonize yourself, and I understand you desperately want validity. You desperately want people to say, "Oh, you are so stunning and brave. Oh, look at you fight for the little people." Yeah, and again, by calling people little people makes you into a douchebag, right? Massive douchebag. So yeah, listen, Lenny Henry's probably right. Racism, high spread institutional racism is in the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry, along with Piers Wenger, will go, "Oh look, we won't be racist. We're just going to stereotype black people into playing two types of roles possible, but we're going to do it a lot. We're going to do it super a lot. So we're not racist, right? And if we're racist, it's just because all of England's racist, and we're trying to talk them out of being racist, right? That's their go-to. No, arsehole, no. The entertainment industry is racist. In the same way they're bigoted, in the same way they're petty, in the same way they have no good character trait whatsoever that permeates. I mean, like what? We were all surprised about Me Too. Oh my gosh, there's a casting couch? Who knew? Every freaking body, including all the actors and actresses that wave their little fingers at the world, go, "Oh, you voted for Trump, you're a bad person. Don't look at Harvey Weinstein raping this person over here," which I know about completely because I'm a massive hypocrite, right? And that's what happened. What they won't tell. I'm just saying exactly what I'm. So, in closing, Doctor Who's going to end. I think they're going to end the 59-year run of Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker's stunning sacrifice, ending Doctor Who. There may be Doctor Who moving forward. It's gonna be, sounds like it'll be its own thing. It'll be a reboot. But if Piers Wenger still has any fingers in it, things like this is going to insist that we get unwatchable, terrible Doctor Who. Because if they cast a black person as Doctor Who again, he won't have any character. There won't be any stories. This is where stories go to die, right? The only place where stories are actually interesting now is about white men, which is the weird thing in the world. I mean, if you watch the Watchmen TV show, which was absolutely awful whenever they had black people on the screen, because Damon Lindelof can't write black people because he's scared of them, and he makes them into those two basic characters. But whenever there's white people on screen, they're layered and interesting, and have flaws. And so weirdly enough, they're pushed to make more diversity in storytelling. Has done the exact opposite, and I think really reduced minorities, or whatever word you want to use, reduce them to less than they were in the 1930s. You know, when they would go, if you're a black guy, you go, "It doesn't matter," and that's about it. That's all you could do in a movie. We're basically at the same place. Bit strange, eh? Bit strange. 2021, yo, 2021, strange place to be. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, 2021, not a nice place to visit, and you certainly don't want to live here. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.